The Devil's Gold. Jed Hawkins crouched low, his eyes scanning the dusty, sun-baked streets of Tucumán, Argentina. His rugged, chiseled features seemed carved from the same rock as the ancient Inca ruins that loomed in the distance. A seasoned adventurer, Hawk had spent years tracking the most elusive treasures, and his reputation preceded him like a bad omen. By his side, Chub Chuchen, his trusted specialist in all things mechanical, tinkered with the engine of their trusty Cessna 180, a battered bird that had seen better days. Chu's round, bespectacled face was a picture of concentration as he worked his magic on the propeller. "Almost there, Hawk," he muttered, wiping the sweat from his brow. Rosie Raven Rivera, their pilot and a firecracker of a woman, landed the plane with a gentle touch, the wheels kissing the dirt runway with a soft crunch. She grinned, her dark hair whipping back and forth like a whip as she climbed out of the cockpit. "Welcome to Tucumán, amigos," she said, her voice husky from years of smoking cigars. Hawk's eyes narrowed as he scanned the surrounding buildings, his instincts screaming that something was off. The streets were empty, save for a few wary-eyed locals huddled in doorways. "What's the sit rep, Rosie?" he asked, his voice low and deadly. "The local authorities have been acting strange," she replied, her eyes darting about. "I overheard some rough talk about a shipment of gold headed this way. Maybe we're not the only ones after it." Chu, sensing the tension, nodded, his eyes fixed on the plane. "I've got a bad feeling about this." Benedict the Bishop Blake, a ruthless mercenary, emerged from the shadows, his cold, calculating gaze taking in the trio. A scar above his left eyebrow seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. Well, he sneered, his voice dripping with malice. "Look what the wind has blown in." Hawk, always chasing the wind, never catching the gold. And Chu, the tinkerer. "What brings you two to our humble town?" Hawk's hand instinctively went to the .45 holstered at his hip. "Just passing through, Bishop. We're not looking for trouble." Benedict's smile was a cold, calculated thing. "Oh, but I think you are. You see, I've acquired some information. Information that suggests you're after the same thing I am. A certain shipment of gold, hidden deep within the ruins." Chu's eyes sparkled with excitement. "You're talking about the Devil's Gold, ain't you?" Benedict's grin grew wider. "The very same. And I'll do whatever it takes to get it." Rosie's eyes flashed with a fierce light. "You're not getting it, Bishop. Not without going through us first." Hawk's eyes met hers, a silent understanding passing between them. Chu, sensing the tension, edged closer to the plane, his hands hovering over the tools in his belt. The game was on. As night fell, the trio set out into the ruins, the air thick with the scent of jasmine and decay. Hawk led the way, his eyes scanning the crumbling structures for any sign of the gold. Chu followed closely, his eyes fixed on the ancient stones. Rosie brought up the rear, her eyes scanning the surrounding landscape for any sign of Benedict and his goons. As they delved deeper into the ruins, the air grew thick with an eerie, pulsating energy. Hawk felt it, a strange, almost palpable force that seemed to vibrate through every molecule of his being. "This is it," he whispered, his voice low and urgent. "The Devil's Gold is close." Chu's eyes lit up with excitement. "I've got a feeling we're not alone, Hawk." Rosie's voice was a low growl. "I've got eyes on movement, due east." Hawk's eyes snapped towards the sound, his hand instinctively going to his gun. A group of robed figures emerged from the shadows, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Benedict's voice echoed through the ruins, his words dripping with malice. "You'll never leave here alive, Hawk. The Devil's Gold is mine." As the battle raged on, the trio fought for survival, their bond forged in the crucible of danger and adventure. Hawk, Chu, and Rosie fought side by side, their bullets and blades slicing through the darkness like a deadly waltz. In the end, it was Hawk who stood alone, his eyes locked on the glowing gold. Benedict lay at his feet, his cold, calculating gaze frozen in death. The devil's gold, it seemed, was theirs to claim. As they flew back to civilization, the sun rising over the Andes like a fiery sword, Hawk turned to Chew and grinned. "You know, Chew, I think we make a pretty good team." Chew chuckled, his eyes twinkling. "You're not so bad yourself, Hawk." Rosie's voice was husky, her eyes flashing with a fierce light. "We make a killing machine, amigos. And we're not done yet." The plane disappeared into the dawn, leaving the ruins of Tucumán to the whispers of the wind, the devil's gold glinting like a siren's call, beckoning them back to the adventure that was to come.